So, good morning, friends. I welcome you back to this class of video lecture, and this is BA Part 2nd English Literature, and we have been taking paper 1, that is Poetry and Drama. So, friends, we have started taking a poem written by Wordsworth, William Wordsworth, the father of Romanticism, and the title of the poem is The Solitary Reaper. So, I have given you a brief introduction of Romanticism, of the two generations of Romanticism, and about the contention and crux of philosophy and theory, that philosophy as a branch of knowledge has never been satisfied with the existing order of the world. So, Wordsworth also comes from that tradition, and he uh, observes the world or different institutions of the world from the perspective or from the prism of nature. So his treatment of nature has been peculiarly different as compared to the treatment of nature of of neoclassical era. So, not going much into detail about all such treatments of nature. So, again, I put you the first four lines which are highly appealing of this poem. Behold her single in the field, yon solitary highland lass, weeping and singing by herself. Stop here or gently pass. Gently means quietly, silently. So, I give you a sort of a sort of explanation of this poem. The poet addresses a passerby to look at the beautiful Highland girl, Scotch girl, who is singing and reaping all alone in her field. The poet asks the passer-by not to disturb the girl singing by his presence, because if we disturb her, then she might stop singing, and her beauty lies in her song. The beauty of the scene lies in the theme of the song, or the beauty of the entire scenario lies in her presence, and all these things bring out a total appeal. So he asks him either to pass gently or stop at a distance and listen to the song of the girl. She is all alone in that mountainous region, and this unexpectedness of the presence of someone has been exciting for the poet, because the poet was not expecting any human presence in such a remote area, in such a mountainous area. Friends, when we are in a forest, we are in a wood, or we are in the time of night, when we have made up our mindset that no one could be there, and if suddenly we feel or we see some presence, some human intervention, then it brings out a sort of exciting human sensibility. And the same happens with the consciousness of the poet. So she is all alone, she is cutting and binding the grain and is singing a sorrowful song. The deep notes of her song are resounding in the valley. This is the last two lines of the first part. Alone she cuts and binds the grain and sings a melancholy strain. Right? So she is cutting and binding the grain and is singing a sorrowful song. The deep notes of her song are resounding in the valley. Highland refers To the country of the Highlanders there were gales or sails. In Wordsworth's time, many of them didn't know English. That's why the girl has been singing in her own native voice. The stanza, the opening first 5 lines. You are supposed to memorize these 5 lines for the sake of quotes. Friends, the significance of quotes has been very important for a student of literature. As a student of literature, you are supposed to memorize, you are supposed to retain many quotes in your mind. They are not only for the examination purpose, but they create a sort of music for you. They entertain you, they give you motivation, they give you encouragement, and you may quote them as per the need of the circumstance. And these quotations afterwards give you an opportunity to compare the things in the concerned situation. The truth which has been explored by poets and theorists happen to be the same. Many times this truth happen to be the same, though there is another canon that truth is relative. But I am not going into that detail, into that comparative study. But what I want to say, that many times the same sensibility is found, the same mindset of the poets is found in the texts, the same proposition is found in the works of writers. What Shakespeare has written could be found in the writings of Wordsworth. What Marlowe has written could be found in the writings of uh, Shelley or Keats. So, as a student of literature, it is our poetical habit to bring out comparisons, to bring out contrasts, and to come to the peculiar things. For that purpose, we need a treasure of quotations. In literary realm, that student is more worthy of attention who can quote the lines as per the need of the discussion, as per the need of the context. If we are talking of virtue, if we are talking of decent habits of a student, when we talk of the sense of responsibility, when we talk of the sense of morality, then we quote these 2 lines written by Alexander Pope, which comes in Rape of the Lock. What does Pope write at the end of the Rape of the Lock? The famous 2 lines. I'm trying to remember them. Uh, the beauty is in vain, their pretty eyes may roll. Charms strike the sight, but merit wins the soul. You see, these 2 famous lines coming from the pen of Alexander Pope. And what does Pope declare? That finally, ultimately, it is virtue which wins the human soul. It is not the beauty, it is not the fragrance. You see, we all human beings, we all man and woman are naturally attracted towards the spell of beauty. Beauty has a spell which no one can escape. But with the stroke of beauty, we cannot win the human heart. We cannot win man and woman, or we cannot win the battle, because beauty is short lived. Beauty is not everlasting, right? So finally, it is virtue. And where does virtue live? Virtue lives in the heart of man. Virtue lives in the mind of man. What should be your virtue as a student? As a student, it is virtuous to come to the campus regularly. As a virtuous descendant, as a virtuous boy, it is recommended for you to be an honest son or to be an honest daughter to your parents. As a virtuous citizen of the state, you are supposed to follow all the social rules and regulations given by the state, right? So only within the boundary of virtue we can win the favor of the concerned figures. So it is not beauty, because whenever there is a contrast between beauty and virtue, we human beings are more attracted towards beauty, right? Alexander Pope says, beauty is in vain, their pretty eyes may roll. So again, I'm not. I think I am taking much time. So again, I read the first four lines. Behold a single in the field, yon solitary highland lass. Lass comes for young maiden, unmarried girl, weeping and singing by herself. Stop here or gently pass. Thank you, friends. Thank you very much.